All-Star, and Paul George has won plenty of awards, and he is a playoff contender. When he was with the Pacers, he was the man. Now he's with the Clippers. He's beside the man, which is the Claw, Kawhi Leonard. Now, will Paul George ever get a NBA championship? That's the one thing that's separating him from greatness. Or will he retire like the great Patrick Ewing, Charles Barkley, Sean Kemp, ring less? To say the least, everyone is interested in PG's thoughts on the greatest of all time. So here is PG's list of his starting lineup, who he would have. And it may be a shock to plenty of you. Now, according to Clutch Points, Paul George names his all-time starters per position, picks Kobe ahead of Michael Jordan. So Paul George joined the all-time best players bandwagon and named his own all-time starting five. The 6'8" swingman recently spoke to ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski and said, and there's no doubt that the most contentious decision George made was picking the late great Kobe over the Bulls legend Magic. I would have LeBron at the point, Kobe at the two, started George, who was then questioned as to who he intended to squeeze in Jordan in his lineup. Yeah, I know Michael was the best, but I grew up on Kobe, so I would pick Kobe at the two. Now, it did not seem as though George hesitated too much in picking Kobe over Jordan, but he was able to offer up a proper explanation for the same. Being a Los Angeles native himself, the Clippers forward grew up idolizing Bryant. Moreover, despite appreciating the greatness of the one and only MJ, George is still willing to take Kobe over MJ any given day. The 30-year-old Clipper star then went on to round out the final three spots of his lineup. My three, I would put Larry Bird at my three. George continue at my four. I would put KG. And my five, I would put Shaq. So that's a pretty formidable lineup right there, but not exactly one that will meet with complete agreement by many. Garnett is not usually a name that pops up in most all-time starting lineups, and the omission of Jordan is likewise uncommon, to say the least. Then again, to each his own. So no one should fault Paul George here for what his own personal preference. Now, you could say this, and it would make sense, which is a lot of people didn't grow up off of Michael Jordan. I grew up in the Kobe era right along with Paul George, but I did get a chance to see Jordan on TV in the 90s. When I was a little kid, I didn't see anything like a Michael Jordan game on TV. And I mean, just when you have a player that takes the spot of Friends on NBC, you got something special. When you got a player that would take the prime time slot of Die Hard or one of your top movies that was supposed to be shown that night, Michael Jordan's games was just as important as all of this. Movie premieres. He was taking slots of number one sitcoms. Nowadays, you can't even get an NBA game to get on primetime because of the ratings. Jordan equaled ratings because he was automatic showtime. It was magical. You never would get that type of presence, and you would have to have seen it to believe it and felt it. But for people, like today's generation, know nothing about Michael Jordan, and a lot of them wear his clothing and his shoes only because of the generation before them did the same thing. A lot of people don't bandwagon jump just because everybody else liked Jordan or wear his shoes and stuff don't mean you should. Have your own opinion. And that's why I respect PG for saying he picks Kobe over Jordan, and that's the way it should be. You shouldn't just jump on the Jordan bandwagon because he is the GOAT. If you don't know anything about the man, do your knowledge, do some research, and then you can speak on him. But most people are bandwagons riders. They're fickle. If everybody say Jordan is the best, believe me, this kid is going to say he don't even know anything about Jordan. He could just hear everybody saying Jordan the greatest. Won't even know anything about him. But we have to use our own minds, people. Be your own person. But I respect PG's all-time list. Like this video, leave your comment, share this on Instagram, YouTube, as well as Facebook. Subscribe.